Well, welcome back into the channel. We got another special guest joining us, but instead of me introducing him, we'll bring on the guest to introduce himself.
Hey, Mike Baumann, relief pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. Also, Ryan Ripken show's #1 fan.
Number one fan. So can we get
number
that?
one fan? I like that.
I love that.
My face is so big here.
It's massive.
That's all right.
You do have a big head. That's a great hat, by the way.
Yeah,
but Mike, Bud, great to hear from you. Great to see you. For those that don't know the relationship that Mike and I have, we were teammates, Mike, from 2017 to 2021, I think every single year in the Orioles minor league system. Great time.
Good times. Way too long.
Way too long. Some would say we know too much.
Yes, we were roommates and a lot of Madden.
A lot of Madden.
Yeah, and a lot more than that too. But we're here now.
I also got to say, Mike, this couch over here, it misses you.
I love that couch. Whose spot is that?
It's Rocco's spot.
It's Rocco's spot.
Rocco's.
Yeah. Rocco. As you can see, it's just waiting for you. But you're on the West Coast now. But and that's actually, it's a great thing for you personally. But overall, wanted to give the context, because when I try to say when I tell people like, hey, the relationships that we've been able to build, and a lot of these guys then with the Orioles, those were guys that you spent time with. Obviously you're with the team, but we both collectively, the team's changed over the last few years. But let's just start with the first one here. I lived the process. No one lived it more than you, but I know that the time in Baltimore could have been ended it in a different way, could have been a different tale, but the group of guys that we had all the way up were a fantastic group. I think would you say that's the hardest part of transitioning out? We'll get to the other transitions, but when you have a great group of guys, it makes it easy to go to work each day.
Yeah, you just build such strong relationships over the years, especially when you're going through the grind of the minor leagues. And that's the hardest part in this game, is just the people you come to know and love, and you see them every day, and then all of a sudden you don't see them every day. But there's still communication on a daily basis, and yeah, that's the business. And now we're here now.
We're here now, and that I'm glad you brought that up about it's family oriented, or your teammates. Like literally, I try to tell people, you go away for spring training, you're gone for the year, 8-9 months. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like when we're saying we really got to know each other, Brad, we really got to know each other. And I think you found out some of those stories.
Yeah.
And also like coming through the moments. I mean, still like one of my favorite memories that we had, one of them was obviously in Bowie in 2019, you throwing the no-hitter was electric. Mike was throwing like 99 in the ninth. Didn't talk to him, though. We got to teach Rocco not to say about no hitters or anything. But that moment there, we won the division and went to the championship. And just like those are the moments with our other guy. Shout out Steve Klimek. Got to shout out Steve, the other bro-in-law, Mike. But those are the things of who else was on that team that year? Trying to think. We had Cedric was on that team. Dean was initially. Bruce, right? They got moved up. Bannon.
Yeah. McKenna was on that team.
Yeah. But talk about the adrenaline. I know I've heard this, but talk about throwing a no-hitter for just a moment here. And I know that you'll say, and I actually shout out Ian Sagdahl. I talked to him, was on the Nationals, one of my former roommates, Brad, when we played.
Yeah.
And I had to remind Ian about that game. And Ian goes, I love Mike, but I hate him because of the stuff that night. Talk about like what the sensation was, especially that evening, and when you kind of realized it was on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a normal game, probably until the sixth inning. Ironically enough, I walked the first guy of the game.
Naturally.
Naturally. And then next pitch, was a double play, and then from then on, it was just kind of cruise control until probably the sixth inning, and then that's kind of when I started to feel like the buzz in the air. Like that's when as each inning went on, guys stopped talking to me in between innings, and then once we got into the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, the adrenaline just started to kick in. I felt like I got stronger as I got stronger as I kept going. So, and then once that 9th inning came around in Bowie, it was kind of funny just, hearing the fans and everything. Is just, they're getting pretty into it too. So once I got that last out, it was pretty crazy. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it was just kind of blacked out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say that they black out in situations. I forget who else we were talking about, a blackout situation. And maybe that was from a different variety. Maybe it was Zach talking about a different type of blackout.
Yeah.
But yes, probably. But overall, that was my first day getting called up to AA. And obviously, we were talking constantly, just like we talked about with relationships, even if you're not at the same place as the person. But I remember just being in the dugout and I'm like, damn, this could really happen. I'm like, I wonder if he's tiring out. And then you look up at the radar and just 99 on the radar. And so I think there's a great photo there, and we'll get a clip out of it where Mike's all fired up. Did they make a bobblehead out of it? They had some sort of giveaway. Oh no, the koozies.
The koozies, yeah.
Hell yeah.
You'll see my wife rocking the koozie pretty much every time she has a drink in her hand.
Yeah, shout out Mike's assistant. Best assistant in the game, by the way. But the koozie's electric. We got to get that here at the studio here, maybe with a little deep eddy, a little crush.
I was gonna say, be part of the bar, be a staple part of the bar.
Yes, and Nico's also going to help make the bar, by the way. Transitioning to, because this is where it's is realistic. I told people about stories about how baseball is not always glamorous, and I know you know this. Can you talk about when you got DFA'd and you're sitting there, how you had to prepare just to wait for the call? I know the answer, but I love it when you describe it.
Yeah, so I had my wife and 2 dogs with me, and we would just go to a local field on a daily basis. We actually got kicked out of one of the fields.
Wait, what?
But yeah, there's one in McHenry Road. One of the guys came over and said we couldn't use this field, and I had 3 baseballs that I would just throw into the fence, and my wife would throw them back, and we did that for probably like 5 days, and then I found out I was going to Seattle, and within 12 hours I was at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I do remember that because I actually saw the tweet. I think I texted you being like, does Seattle know this is happening? Do you know it's happening? But to give the context of it, because I remember people said like your first outing when you went out there, and like, yeah, you're trying to get your feet wet. You hadn't pitched in a week. When was your last outing against the Mariners too?
Yeah, my last time was against the Mariners.
Yep. And so Seattle, this is how it works too. Seattle saw him and went, man, that guy's good, right? Isn't that kind of how you said it, that they saw you, recency bias, and they wanted to bring you in, and that was kind of the reality. But you literally then got the call and had to get ready to go pitch in Yankee Stadium without pitching for 5 or 6 days. It's not always glamorous, is it, Mike? No.
I remember during that game too, I think I threw a couple pitches up and into Stanton, and he didn't seem too happy about it. I was just like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I haven't been up and down in a week. Like, I don't know what's going on either. So, but yeah, no. And then, but yeah, the team has been phenomenal so far. They've made me feel really, really welcomed, and I couldn't be happier here.
Yeah. And again, I like to just give it's a good story with it of, hey, you're a professional athlete. You're probably going to the lab here and getting all your bullpens. Nope. Let's get the wifey, get the dogs. We're going to find a good old fence, and we're going to get kicked out. Yeah. And this is a guy that's supposed to be performing at the highest level. But those are the fun stories. But I can't believe you got kicked out, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's tough.
Yeah. I guess I never told you that one. Yeah. And then actually,
no, you didn't.
On one of the other days, we ran into the varsity baseball coach of St. Francis.
Mm-hmm.
And we helped him prepare the field for their senior night. We were doing the mound, and they were just on one of the fields around Baltimore.
That's all.
That's people helping people here.
You know, you're a good kid, Mike.
Very good.
That's
kid.
why you're a good kid.
Try my best.
Part of the good kid club. That's why the Mount Rushmore that I had, you were on it for teammates, no doubt about it. But that's amazing. So now you're settled in. Crazy though, like guess who's coming to town, Mike?
Yeah, we'll see some old friends.
Okay, so up and into Adley, Gunner, first pitch.
Hey, wherever the ball goes.
Wherever the ball,
you just don't know where it goes.
You just don't know where it goes. That it's all good. I'm trying to think of all the times I faced Mike sometimes in spring training, Brad, and I don't think you ever hit me. Good.
No,
thank you.
Never hit you.
I don't think you ever struck me out. There's a debate if I got a hit off of you, but there's no fielders. And I did break a bat. I do know that.
I have video of you clearly grounding out in a shift.
Can we get that video evidence? Because I don't believe me grounding out in a shift.
Yeah.
I remember there was a screen right behind you because there's no fielders, and I hit it right back up. You didn't field your position cleanly. So I took that as, man, base hit. I'm 1 for 7 off Mike.
But these are the shift days. And there's clearly going to be a second baseman behind second base.
Right. And clearly there's going to be a screen behind the pitcher's mound as well.
Yes. And 2 pitching coaches.
Correct. And it was spring training. Or you just could have fielded it and we could have avoided this whole situation. You don't like it, just play better.
Well, you could have hit it harder.
Well, that you're damn right about that. That could have come off better, but I was probably a good 72 miles an hour, but who's keeping track of it? Mickey Janis actually, Mike, sent me a video of that. What was that? What's it called? The slow-mo camera?
The Edgertronic.
Edgertronic. So Mickey was talking about how Gunner took him big ball in spring training in 21. Mickey sent the knuckleball, and then it was just slow-mo of Gunner just hitting a jack. So there's got to be the Edgertronic then of me getting the base.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have it. I can get my assistant to grab my phone over here.
That's great. You know what? Your assistant can send it directly to my number. That would be great. We can add it to the video. So then everyone can be the judge. if I got a hit
off of my phone.
You're going to pull it up right now? Okay. While you're thinking of that here, but these are the fun moments we can look back on and kind of reflect. I know it's going to be different for you, though, that for the first time you're going to face some of these guys, but at least you have faced hitters before in the spring training and alternate site and scrimmages and all this. But yeah, welcome to you're now part of the Know Your Foe, Mike. Does that feel weird?
I'm part of the what?
You're part of the Know Your Foe. I know you're looking for it.
Oh, Know Your Foe.
Yeah, you're now a foe of the Orioles.
Yeah.
But you got love for the city, though. Like, I know you love being back here, and we talked about the memories we had here specifically. But I mean, I'm wearing the Iron Rooster. They love you here. I mean, there's a lot.
I love me some Roostarts.
Oh, I know you do. I think we still have some in the works, by the way, that are gonna make their way out to the menu soon.
If you don't love Roost Tarts, I don't know if I could be friends with you. And that goes for anybody.
Yeah. Well, so Mike and Nico have were a part of the designs for tarts. Oh. We had a group discussion. So we might have some coming out here, Brad.
I'm down with it.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
But anyway, besides obviously that we love the Iron Rooster, you still got a lot. I think even what was hard for a lot of people, and there was a lot of great posts. I know you're not on Twitter or X, but a lot of people were like, damn, I really love Mike. And because I think you gave off that feeling that you really did love the city of Baltimore.
Yeah, I spent 7 to 8 years in part of the organization, going through the minors, and then debuting. It was my first team, and when you get drafted by a team, you think in a perfect world you're gonna spend the next 10 years there and have this, great career, and you just kind of love the people you come to know and love. And but the reality is, most relievers don't start and finish with the same team. It's a business, and I got nothing but love for the city, and but my time there is done, and I'm happy out here in Seattle. So it was definitely a great experience, and the people in Baltimore are phenomenal.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to ask something to tag onto that. I think was it Trevor Hoffman that said something about how like relievers are kind of like the thankless like position.
Yeah. Well, so that conversation was that unless you're a closer, it's the work of a reliever is never glorified.
Yeah, or like fully appreciated.
It's never appreciated because all you're expected to do is pass it off to the next guy if you're not the closer.
Right.
And if you're not perfect every time, it's going to be remembered. Oh, well, wait a minute. He gave up a run here. Trevor Hoffman blew 70 saves, he said, Brad?
Yeah.
So that was something you and I talked about, Mike. Can you explain just the ebbs and flows of being a middle reliever and kind of preparing for, I don't know, any situation? Because that's still kind of what you're doing. Or to your question, Brad? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And just to tack onto that, I know that, Mike, you started out as a starter, and I didn't know if there was obviously I know it's not really up to you, but if there was a desire to kind of work yourself back into that starting role.
Not too much. Actually, I love the transition over to being a reliever, and obviously there's 5 all-star caliber starters here in Seattle, but preparing every day to get in a game is actually kind of why I love the relief role. Is just you could have a bad game the night before, and then all of a sudden you're the hero the next night, and people only really remember the ones that, the games that don't go too well. But, just mentally locking in for every game and being prepared to get big outs in big situations is kind of what we live for in the bullpen. And, we live off that adrenaline. And when that phone rings, it's, everyone just kind of zones in. And, there's some great moments, and there's going to be some down moments throughout a season, but the goal is definitely pass the baton on to the next guy and get to the closer.
Yeah, I mean that's the end goal, right? But even right now with guys, the Orioles bullpen still I think is held up pretty well. Now there are some injuries, Danny Coulomb being out until at least September, they're saying, and obviously then the starting rotation, you lose guys, but just guys aren't going to be perfect. You just got to roll with it, but they've done a good job. Despite then that they're going to have some outings that are not going to be as good. But it seems like the philosophy out there in Seattle, they're like, hey, we're going to attack you. We're going to be over the plate. And you guys are good. Mariners are good. They're playing some good ball right now. Now Houston's right there now, Mike. So, maybe tell them to heal a little bit. But I think you came into a situation, is there similarities or could you say at least something that you notice that's different between Seattle and Baltimore, just from if you were going to explain just on, a team sense, a team side?
I'd say the culture is very similar. It's very, you don't get any superstar egos, and everyone. I just felt super welcomed when I came over to the team, and it's really a tight knit group of guys. Great camaraderie, and it's from bullpen to rotation to position players. Everyone gets together and gets along, and that's what makes it. That's what helps win games. I think I'm a full believer of that, and the staff, pitching coaches, hitting coaches, everyone, just the communication's phenomenal, and I think that's a key to a great organization.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, then you have a guy like this, The Moose. And you have met.
He really brings
Moose.
everyone together.
He really does. I mean, I know the Oriole bird is pretty great. There are some great mascots. This is actually Mike. Oh, his pants are falling down. Hey,
jeez,
sorry,
family
everybody.
show, man.
This isn't after dark.
This is not after dark. We'll pull these puppies up here. But for Moose, you've met him. Likable. He seems like a very likable guy.
Very likable. Man of few words.
Man of few words. He seems shocked quite a bit, or he's happy to see you. I don't.
Yeah, I think it depends on the day, but he's a fan favorite.
He's a fan favorite. You're a fan favorite in my book, by the way.
Same.
Yep.
And
well, like I said, #1 Ryan Ripken show fan.
#1, we're gonna get that. Actually, we're gonna have like your photo, and then have a blip of no, and it's like saying I am the #1 fan of the Ryan Ripken show. Get you signed.
Yeah.
Hang the jersey up here as well, and make it all good. I'm gonna ask you. Let's just see some fun things here, and maybe you can sit on this. But do you have a moment in the bigs that you could think of right now, where like was one of your favorite moments?
And
if you need a minute, we can keep talking about certain things.
I got one.
Oh, you do?
I think clinching the playoffs last year. Well, I'll go back to 2 years ago when the season ended. That was kind of Baltimore's, first good season in a while after the dark years. And once the last game, everyone kind of stayed on the field and all the fans stayed for an extra 20, 30 minutes and were just given standing ovation. And that just kind of felt like an ode to, what the team, how far the team has come. And then last year, when we clinched the playoffs and we're going through the champagne in the clubhouse, and it was just like all that hard work, finally paid off.
I'm glad you mentioned that one photo of the fans right there, like the appreciation, because they've been through. We talk about as players the last few years, it's been brutal, but for the fans, I mean, going back, it's been decades.
Yeah,
they've had like 5. I'll say this probably.
I think it's 6 playoff appearances since the '83 World Series.
Six playoff appearances since the '83 World Series, and that just like gives you context, And then it was bad years for a while, so that was I remember that vividly. That was such a cool moment. Look at you bringing that back up.
Yeah,
see, Mike gets sentimental. He appreciates.
He's a sensitive guy.
He is.
I'm a sensitive guy. Very emotional.
Very, very emotional.
Very emotional.
Very emotional. Maybe you can settle this then debate now that you're away from the team. Hair on the team right now, on the Orioles. Is Dean still? I mean, you're no longer in the category. You have some luscious locks.
I mean, Dean's kind of like a no-brainer. I feel like.
People think, let's hear the list.
I like Cole Irvin's. I like the kind of mullet flow. He's got the curls. He's got the mullet. It's just blowing in the wind behind him. It's beautiful. It's luscious.
It's majestic. Cole Irvin getting some
I mean,
love right there.
I'm just surprised that Vespi didn't come up.
Vespi, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Vespi and Dean, I feel like are always at the top, and no one talks about Irvin's.
Yeah,
that's true. This is the first time I've heard Irvin's name.
Hey, it's all good
in the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. All right, a couple fun things. Do you have any fun things you want to ask, Mike?
I mean, I kind of already brought up the couch thing, but Mike, we need you back in the studio, man. We need you back in Baltimore, just to hang out.
Yeah, just to hang out.
Yeah. There's that, but then there's also the NBA Jam next to it too.
Yeah,
that we need you to partake in. Also, we talked to this about, speaking of Cole Irvin, about ping pong. Are you a ping pong guy?
I'm not a ping pong guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a ping pong guy, but I'm not a good ping pong guy.
I was gonna say, because we got that in the studio as well. So when we talked to Cole, he was like, Dean was the guy, and I was
the guy.
I mean, I'm the guy in this
arena. Hearn was the other guy.
We needed to have some of the guys here to see how I stack up.
Yeah, you're not the guy. I
You're
can
not
tell.
that guy.
You don't
pal.
even know me.
You're not giving the guy vibe. I know
You don't-
you.
If you say
No,
if
you don't
s-
know me like that.
If you say you're the
Bradley.
guy, if you're the guy, are you the guy?
Yeah, it's called confidence.
You think Dean's going in there and saying he's the guy?
Yes.
Mm,
No, maybe I don't know. I know Dean. I know Dean's not going to say that.
No.
Everybody else is going to say that about Dean. But yeah, all my guys are going to say that I'm the guy.
I haven't heard any guy say that you're the guy.
Well, because you don't know me well enough. I'm the ping pong guy. That table back there that has shit on it
You're just it
is
a
here
ping
for a
pong.
reason.
It
It's
is.
mine.
It is, but you're not the guy.
And I wipe the floor with everybody that comes into the studio.
But as we found out, you're not the guy. According to Mike, you're not the guy. We're gonna have, so we're gonna have to get Dean in here to settle this. And also, side note for the last question, Mike, Dean, I still laugh. Someone asked me again about the Soto situation when Soto hit the moonshot off Dean. And I went back and looked at it, and I asked Dean. I texted him. I go, "You just look like you're pissed each time." He's like, "Oh, I'm concentrating." I'm like, "Well, you look." I understand why Juan might have thought for a second that you didn't like what he was doing, but that's just your face, Dean.
Yeah.
Got the
You just
RBF.
got that face.
You just got that. There's nothing you can do about it. The Catalina wine mixer, you're crushing it. But Dean, if you don't fix your face, I'm gonna have to fix it for you. Type of thing. It's all love for Dean. We love Dean. Dean, love you. You're gonna get in the studio and you got to see if Brad's the guy. That's what we got to figure out.
Yeah.
All right, last question. This is simple. And maybe you're prepared, maybe you're not. It's brought to you by our friends over at Stuggies. Section 69. They have the crab mac and cheese dog. I know that that's something you would partake in. I know that. Yes. Would you partake in that with me?
Yeah, I would.
Absolutely. A lot of them. They're dangerously delicious. Okay. You can either do condiment, no condiment. If you have a hot dog, Mike Baumann, what is going on your dog?
Is crab mac and cheese a condiment?
That's a topping.
Okay. I'm just gonna stick with mustard. Just straight mustard.
Yes.
Mustard. Team mustard.
Yeah. Skin on too, by the way.
Okay.
Skin on. Skin on.
Yeah. We're past that. That was a stage of my
Are we?
life. We have you ever seen me eat a skinless hot dog, Mike?
I haven't seen you eat I can't say I've seen you eat a normal hot dog.
That's foul. That is foul because now you're just lying. And some of the guys, I will tolerate, banter, lying. That's where we draw the line. Because never mind. I have not eaten a skinless hot dog. I will say that since I was like 7. 8. I don't like Mike being on the show anymore. I don't like being on the show anymore. Anybody else? Anything you want to talk about before you get out of here, Mike? Any shout outs?
No, I just want to reemphasize Mike Baumann, Ryan Ripken show #1 fan.
Love that.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I know you have your feelings now about Mike about the ping pong comments.
Yeah.
But the Baumann's top-notch family.
Yeah.
Mike's assistant, top-notch assistant. There's literally you cannot do better than the Baumann's. Mike, I love you, appreciate you. Go out there and do your thing against the O's. I'll be watching, and go have some fun in Seattle. Learn some things in Seattle. Next time we talk, I want to know what you learned that you didn't know that happens in the Northwest. Okay.
Okay, I'll get cultured.
And also, please do. By the way, that's a hit. I watched the video.
You did?
It was a hit.
No, I don't. There's a guy clearly behind second base.
Okay. That'll be for another time. But Mike Baumann, everybody, we appreciate you, and we will talk again later, Mike.
All right. Love you guys. See ya.